Before sampling, it's important to make sure that the turbidity meter is working properly. In order to ensure that it will record correct turbidity values, we place vials with known turbidity values into the meter. If the readings are close to what they should be, the turbidity meter is working properly. Here's how we verify turbidity before sampling. Make sure the meter is on a flat, level surface. First, we take out the vial with distilled water, which is also called a blank. Make sure not to touch the outside of the vial with your hands, since residue from your hands can impact the turbidity reading. Instead, pick up the vial from the black cap lid and hold the body of the vial with a Kim wipe if needed. For the blank reading, do not invert the vial or shake it up in any way, or it may resuspend particles that have settled to the bottom of the blank, which we don't want. The blank is a sample with a turbidity value close to 0. Insert the vial with distilled water into the turbidity meter, making sure that the white arrow on the vial is in line with the black arrow on the turbidity meter. Press the read button on the top right corner to read the value. For the verification of the blank to pass, the meter must read below 0.10 for the distilled water and be close to the value measured in lab before testing in the field. That'll be shown on the data sheet. If the meter is not reading at or below 0.10, take the turbidity vial out of the meter. Look at the outside of the vial for marks and clean it with the Kim wipe. Then, place it back in the instrument and test again. If the reading is still high, place a drop of oil on the side of the vial and rub the outside of the vial with the black cloth provided. Wipe off anything on the outside of the vial. Make sure there's no excess oil on the vial when you're done. Once you have cleaned the outside, reinsert the vial into the meter and take a reading. If the reading continues to be high, you can put new distilled water into the vial or use the backup vial, which is labeled inside the turbidity box. Record the reading of the blank on the data sheet. If this still does not work, call the team lead and get talked through what to do next. Note that if you end up using new distilled water or a different vial for testing, make a note of it on the data sheet, and if you use a new vial for the blank, use the same new vial for testing of seawater that entire sampling day.
After you complete the blank reading, place the gel secondary standard vial furthest to the left into the turbidity meter. This should read within 0.18 NTUs to the calibrated number labeled as low in the box. You can also find this value on the box here. So this is within that range. This gel secondary standard should read 0 to 10 NTUs on the vial. Repeat these steps with the other 2 gel vials and make sure they're within 1.8 NTUs to the calibrated medium gel standard and 18 NTUs to the calibrated high gel standard numbers written inside of the box. These gel secondary standards should read 0 to 100 NTUs and 0 to 1000 NTUs on the vials respectively.